Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of You Ought to Know Live, seen and heard live every Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the Hangout10.com network. I'm Dave Serio from the radio program You Ought to Know, seen and heard live every Saturday morning, 7 a.m. until noon Eastern Time at daveserio.com and on 3 radio stations in the Maryland area, 7 to 8 on Q 1370 AM in Baltimore, 8 till 10 a.m. on WCBM, the 50,000-watt power station in Baltimore, and then 11 to 12 on AM 930 WFMD. Got 2 of my friends with me right now, maybe one or more to show up, you never know. We've got Mike Lambert from the Shine Shop, Dave Winward from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. We'll start off with Mike. Mike, good evening to you, sir.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir.
Good.
Got your Challenger behind you, and I assume you're getting ready for the car show this Saturday, the All-Italian Vintage Car Show.
Yes, I finally got a chance to pull it in and wash it today. It hasn't been washed for about a week, so that was nice. And, yeah, we're getting ready for the show. I've got I did a Ferrari 308 this past Sunday. That'll be there. And then I have a car on Thursday, I believe, a Ferrari to get ready for that, so that'll be nice.
Great. And if people are wondering why you're taking a Dodge Challenger to the All-Italian show, because that vehicle, along with another vehicle, is going to be used as your demonstration vehicle for the Geon.
Yes, we have the Geon on this car, and then on one of your cars will be there, and people like to see what it looks like, so it'll work out good. And we're one of the sponsors of the show, so we get a booth. So we have room for 2 cars, and then Rod Kraft will be there, and Eric Leonard from Vehicles for Change will be there, and hopefully we'll have decent weather.
Well, hopefully it'll be sunny, and if it is, hopefully both of our cars we can get out in the sun, because that Geon will look a lot better in the sun than it would be in the shade, that's for sure.
Yes, but shows rain or shine, so it's we'll be there.
You got to pray. All right, and I'm going to do my best to get the Pantera up there, and it should be a good time.
Yeah, I think it's good, and he's got the same caterer who has excellent food. So a couple new vendors this year, and it should be interesting.
If you're wondering what we're talking about an all-Italian vintage car show that is held every year, the first Saturday in May. That'll be this Saturday, May 2nd, at Radcliffe Motor Cars. Radcliffe Motor Cars is located on Owings Mills Boulevard in Reisterstown. It's one of those things you just can't miss. If you get on Owings Mills Boulevard near Reisterstown Road and just take it towards Reisterstown, you're going to see the dealership on your left because you're going to see cars everywhere.
Yep. Yeah, you'll see. I talked to him briefly today, and he has 100 spaces, and they're all sold out. So it'll be 100 people there showing their cars. And then we always have a crowd coming in throughout the day. And I believe the show hours are from 9 to 3.
Yeah, they get out sometimes a little earlier than 3. I'd say 9 to 2 to be safe if you're going to there as a spectator.
Yeah, I wouldn't get there too much later because then parking becomes a premium after lunchtime.
Yeah.
Especially with the caterer that he has. And it's always a good show, and it's become one of the largest vintage Ferrari shows on the East Coast. So it gets a lot of really good publicity, and you help that out a lot on your radio show. So we see a lot of your listeners, so that's good.
It is good. I may have to leave right after my 12 o'clock show. I won't say he's a relative of mine, but he's through the family. Unfortunately, a gentleman that we know very well passed away on Monday morning. And I believe they're going to have the funeral service. It's going to be just like a service situation at sometime on Saturday, so we may have to get out of there after the 12 o'clock show. I don't know.
Okay.
Haven't heard the details yet, so we'll let you know on that.
All right.
Radcliffe Motor Cars this Saturday, May 2nd. You and Rod Kraft from McGuire's.
Yep.
And it's going to be a great show. Last year, they had some phenomenal automobiles there, which, by the way, are still on the web. And you know, it's a great thing. It really is.
And, your friend Craig Shipp was there and did some filming, so I guess you could Google his name and that'll come up somewhere along the line.
Right.
And, Richard has pictures on his website. If you go to Radcliffe Motor Car Company, that'll come up, and he has pictures from most of the previous shows, and you can see some really, really exciting cars.
I just got a text from Brian Chiparelli. I texted him to find out to make sure everything was okay at Chiparelli's in Little Italy. And good news is they don't usually go into the Italian area of Little Italy too often. And he said everything's fine, just a loss of business, but other than that, property and people are all good, are all safe. That's
Yeah,
good.
Little Italy tends to take care of themselves.
Yes, they do, and
So,
for good reason. Good.
yes.
All right, Mike, your contact information, your phone number is 410-833-1632, and your website is theshineshopAutoDetailing.com. We mentioned this off the air, but I want to mention it. This is going to be our last show until September. We're going to take the summer off. It's just very tough for us all to get together for a Tuesday evening when we still have it light out till 9 o'clock at night and lots of stuff going on. You're still usually working. I'm still working. So we're gonna take a break and put this on hiatus until September, the first week of September. We'll be back on the air. All right, Mr. White?
That's fine.
All right. Hold on just one moment. We will be back with you, sir.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Dave Winward from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. Good evening, Mr. Dave.
Good evening, Dave.
Good. Glad to hear that you're doing okay. And you said that your vehicle, where one of your vehicles is stored, is downtown Baltimore?
Yeah, it's very close to downtown. I think I'm still in county line, but yeah, it's close to a lot of bad stuff going on. So really, my least concern is my car. I hope everyone else is safe down there. But yeah, it's a mess. I sent a text to my manager and I said, I'm driving a Dodge Charger with a decal on the side that looks exactly like a police car, so I'm not going down there because we just don't. I want to keep everyone, including myself, safe. So I hope everything.
If they can't read that as Jasper and they think that's something else, you're in trouble.
Yeah. But yeah, what a mess. What a mess. And I have friends with shops in the city. Most of the area that I deal with is on the east side of the city, Fells Point, Canton, but there's still a lot of stuff going on there too. So I just hope everyone's safe.
Well, as my sign said this morning, just pray for Baltimore. It's just as simple as that.
Absolutely.
Our prayers, and we got to get that squared away. It's just unbelievable. So how have you been personally, sir? Everything okay?
Oh yeah, doing great. Everything's good. Sales are good. I had some good information tonight on turbocharged engines, and I found this on YouTube, but the company's standpoint on engine technology and the future of engines is we feel that the engines are going to keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and with the addition of turbochargers and superchargers, you can make a very small engine perform like a large engine, and also benefit the fuel economy. And a properly tuned small four-stroke engine with a turbocharger can probably get a fuel mileage that a hybrid can't even think about getting, because with the hybrids you're adding so much weight.
Right, you've got the EcoBoost and a lot of other engines out there that are all turbocharged or supercharged.
Yeah, and the Ford EcoBoost line is doing very well. That's a really neat engine. And so one of the reasons we got into the turbocharger remanufacturing is because we see this coming. And diesel engines have been using turbos for years and years.
Right.
And we started with the diesel turbos because it was an easier market for us to get into, because there's more saturation with turbocharged diesel engines. So we're thinking in the future that the smaller gas engines, it's going to be an easy transition to just start remanufacturing the turbos on them as the sales grow with the smaller and the manufacturing grows.
Do you have a video for us tonight?
I do, and it's a quick, and this is probably one of the best quick videos. It's only about a minute long that shows how a turbo operates. So I'm gonna play this for us.
All right, Dave Winward from Jasper Engines, how a turbo operates. Everything backwards. There you go.
Turbocharger provides an effective solution to one of the challenges facing many engine makers: how to breathe more air into the combustion chamber and do it efficiently. Here's how a turbocharger works. To get more air into the engine, a turbocharging system starts with an engine's exhaust gas, power that is essentially wasted in non-turbo engines. This exhaust gas is channeled to the turbo, where it spins a turbine wheel. This highly engineered wheel spins quite fast, reaching speeds of up to 280,000 RPM. On the other side of the turbine wheel, connected by a shaft, is a compressor wheel. These two wheels turn together, and the rapid spinning allows the compressor to suck in large amounts of ambient air and compress it. As a result, the air is very dense and has a higher temperature. This air then passes through a charge air cooler, where it is cooled and gains an even higher density prior to entering the engine. Once in the engine, the compressed air allows the engine to efficiently burn more fuel, making for extremely efficient engine operation. With better combustion, engine makers no longer have to resort to building bigger engines to get more power. Instead, they can use smaller, more fuel-efficient boosted engines that match the power of the larger engine, while consuming up to 40% less fuel and emitting significantly less CO2, making turbocharging a technology that's perfectly in tune with the needs of the...
We're going to say the 21st century, I think they probably said.
But yeah, it's and you know, turbos have been around forever and ever, but the technology through CNC machining and computer engineered parts, I have right here. This is the compressor wheel, and that's a teeny little compressor wheel. This is actually for a Ford Power Stroke diesel, and that's a 6-liter engine. So the compressor wheel on a, say, a 3-liter engine, or they were using the 2-liter engine as an example, it's going to be half this size. It's just a little teeny part. So these turbos are only, they're only about that big, and they can just totally, increase the efficiency and horsepower of the engine. And we really think that this is one of the ways of the future. I know that a lot of the hybrid technology is taking off, but the problem I see with the hybrid technology is just the batteries weigh so much that you're weighing the car down. So, it's kind of like a catch-22. So that's why
with their turbocharged engines, Ford's doing a lot with their turbocharged engines. We're seeing a lot of that right now.
Yeah, and I think we'll see a lot more.
I would say Ford's probably the leader right now. Wouldn't you think, with the EcoBoost?
Yeah, Ford and Mazda, I guess, because pretty much they're the same.
Yep, BMW's going to a lot of turbo.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, what about durability?
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's one of the reasons we're getting into the turbo business, because as long as the oil is very clean and the viscosity is good, the turbos should last, pretty much indefinitely. The problem is if you're going 10,000 miles on an oil change with a turbocharged engine, because like they were saying, these things are spinning at speeds up to 280,000 RPMs, and they're supported by very small bearings. Yeah. So as soon as one of those bearings goes bad, there goes your turbo. There goes, your car literally will not. It might run, but it's not going to run well. So on the plus side is the manufacturing has gotten to the point where they can be produced very inexpensively. What used to be thousands of dollars is now just a few $100s. So as long as they make these turbos easy to get to, a turbo change might not be that big of a deal in the future.
Cool.
All right. Well, thank you, Dave. And you're going to come back to us with a contest, correct?
Yep, got a contest.
All right. We're going to go to Jose Bueso from Dynamic Automotive. Jose, we have a little bit of an announcement to make, unfortunately, and we couldn't get a hold of you before the show. We're going to make this the last one of these until September. Everybody's got a lot going on during the summer, including myself, and it's been tough to get everybody together. And I know it's tough, especially when it's so light out till 9 o'clock and lots of other things to do. So I hope you don't mind, but we're going to take a little hiatus, and then we're going to be here the first week of September to start over again.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan to me, because I've got a lot going on.
I figured that. I thought you'd be the one to say, yeah, okay, then no problem here, and we'll get that squared away. So how are you, Jose?
I'm doing well. I am on the run, and I apologize for being late on this last show for the season. I have just been very, very busy over here, and but I was able to close out a few things and get on the air, and I'm glad I did, because I would have missed this announcement.
All right.
Completely.
Good to have
Yeah.
you. Jose, you are a partner in the three-location business of Dynamic Automotive in the Frederick, Maryland area. And tell us a little bit about Dynamic Automotive, the locations, and who's running the ship.
Okay, well, I am at the #2 location in Libertytown, Maryland, in Frederick County. And if you want to reach me, you can call me at 301-694-6250. We're open 8 to 6 Monday through Friday, 8 to noon on Saturday. My original location is in Newmarket, Maryland. That phone number is 301-694-5460. And at that location, you'll talk to the lovely Sarah or my partner Lee Foreman. That location is also open 6 days a week, 8 to 6 Monday through Friday, 8 to 3 on Saturday. And then we have a rather large location right off of Route 270 in Urbana, Maryland. And that location boasts a 4-bay full-service quick lube facility up front, a 9-bay repair shop in the back, and a 60-foot soft cloth car wash that Mike tells me time and time again he wishes he had. Also, it would make life a lot easier for him. That phone number there is 301-874-8833. Mike, you're a great sport. I did have a couple of comments about Dave Lambert's subject, the turbocharging.
Right, Dave Windward.
When I was,
Dave
I'm sorry.
Mike and Dave are not related. And Dave Windward thanks his listeners every day. Yes.
Oh, well. Well, anyway, when I was working for Buick in 1978 and 79, they came out with a Regal turbocharged carbureted motor, a 3.8 liter. And I do remember Air Research putting out those turbochargers, and one of the issues with those turbochargers were the bearings wearing out in between the turbine and the compressor. And my goodness, they would start eating up oil, white smoke pouring out of the exhaust, and so on and so forth. So notably, what I've noticed over the years is that failure, or the amount of failures for turbochargers as a whole, have gone down. They rarely have those bearing failures. Maybe you can shed some light on that, Mr. Windward.
Yeah, let me unmute. Yeah, I was actually looking around. I thought I had one of the bushings. Now, you can either use a like the Power Stroke diesels have a very complex turbocharger with variable vanes that actually turn inside the inside the turbo to adjust the amount of boost through the RPM range. But they still use a brass bushing. Now, with the diesels tend to operate at a much lower RPM, so the bearings aren't as critical as long as the oil is clean. Now, the guys that are doing performance diesels, they'll actually use like a ball bearing, and the big technology is the ceramic bearings. So they went from, back in the day, it was probably just strictly a bushing, and now they're using, I think I'm safe to say that most of the gasoline engines would use some kind of ceramic bearing, ball bearing, that can withstand just hundreds and hundreds of degrees.
Right, that really must make a big difference in the longevity, the life of the operation of the turbochargers. Also, whenever I have a turbocharged motor customer who has a turbocharged motor, more times than not, that customer is utilizing synthetic oil, and it's really the way to go with the turbocharged motor. Wouldn't you say that's correct also?
I would say so, and I think with some of the synthetic oil customers that they, my personal vehicle is a Toyota Highlander, and Toyota wants you to use full synthetic oil at 10,000 miles. It's a naturally aspirated engine, but my thought is that's still too much. I do it at every 5.
Right. Well, one other thing I want to mention is not only are you in a situation where synthetic wheels are around, but really we have been nailing customers for so long now, 35 years now, on the importance of oil changes, that really people do their oil changes more frequently now than they ever did. And again, with turbos, as Dave brought up, that's one of the most important factors of keeping a turbo alive is, of course, keeping your oil clean. And people who let oil changes go on turbo engines don't get 100,000 miles out of their turbo. It's just simple as that.
Well, yes, I agree. The oil changes are imperative to the life of a turbocharged motor, without a doubt.
Well, even the new Porsche turbos, they have a pre-oiler for the turbo before you even start the car. So you'll see a big puff of white smoke come out the tailpipes on a brand new car, and people think there's a problem, but it's not. It's already oiled the turbo.
Well, it's called a factory problem, Porsche.
That's really good to know. That really is, because you see a big puff of smoke coming out of a tailpipe first thing in the morning. You're scratching your head and saying, "Okay, what's going on here?"
Well, let me tell you something. In the early days, in the late 70s and early 80s, those turbo cars, when they went, how many people did head gasket jobs on those engines only to put it all back together again and found out it was still billowing that smoke? You know, if you didn't know any better, you did gasket. You know, you thought the head gasket had gone.
Yeah. You know, I'm driving a little Volkswagen. I'm driving a little Volkswagen Beetle right now, and it's a diesel. You know, I'm a real macho kind of a guy driving a Beetle. But
you have the flower,
this thing is
flower holder.
Yes, it has the flower holder. Of course, I put a pen in that flower holder. There's no more flower. It's gone.
Put a big fat cigar in.
Cigar. Well, anyway, that turbo started to fail on me, and the fix for that VW was to replace the entire assembly with the exhaust manifold, and that's the only way that they sell them. Well, I wasn't going to go there, so I asked Todd, let's take this son of a gun apart and see what's going on inside. It can't be too terribly difficult. Well, you know, it is a variable vane turbo. It's a miniature of what you find on a Ford diesel truck. And it was simply all sooted up. And we cleaned it up, put it all back together, good as new.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Now, that's something that we generally don't recommend doing for customers because you never know how well it's going to work, but it did work in your situation. So now if the customer comes in with a vehicle like that, you've got a shot at it.
Yeah. We can actually emphasize this is a first step. We might be able to save you some money if we go through this procedure, and if it works, hooray. If it doesn't, we're going to have to replace the whole darn thing.
Jose, when you took that turbo apart, you took a plate, and it was a round plate with a bunch of slots in it.
Right.
And the little vanes kind of had the little tabs on them, and we found, like on the 6-liter turbos, the little slots in the plate are wearing out. So we actually, through our machining resources at our factory, can machine those plates from scratch, and actually, you know, repair the turbos that way. But yeah, that variable vane stuff is really, really neat. But like you said, once those vanes get stuck, and like the Ford 6-liters are very when they get stuck in the full boost position, guess what? You're running like 25, 28 pounds of boost all the time.
Right.
So it's not good for engine longevity.
No.
All right, Mr. Jose, we're going to get back to Mike Lambert for a minute. We're going to be back with you in just a few moments, okay, guy?
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it. I got your name right.
There you go. Well, you didn't say my last name. All right, well, let's get to Mr. Mike Lambert from the Shine Shop. Mike, we're looking forward to Saturday's show. We'll let people know about Sunday's show also, even though it doesn't involve really you or me directly as far as the radio show. But Sunday at Krause Ford in Tawnytown, having an all-Ford show. So for folks who love the the Cobras and the Mustangs and the Torinos and the Thunderbirds and stuff like that, it's going to be a great show.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be able to make it. So you never know. I might come home with a new Mustang.
You never know.
You never know. That's what happened this time around. You never know.
They let you walk into the showroom. It's not a problem.
Yeah, I hope the wife's not listening. So.
You're in trouble, Mike. You're in trouble. So your business, once again, we talked earlier about the Geon. The Geon is the ceramic coating that you've placed on this car behind you has a ceramic coating. And it is incredible of how black it makes that black look. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I look at black cars all the time, and it still amazes me that it just has a different look to it. I guess it's because it just makes it look deeper.
Yes.
The way the ceramics do that. But yeah, now, and we're going to, they just came out with their own line of microfiber towels, which I understand are probably the best on the market. So we're going to be getting some of those to try out. And a couple other new products they've come out with recently into the United States, so we'll be trying those, and we'll let you know how they work.
All right, well, very good. This Saturday, Radcliffe Motor Cars, Owings Mills Boulevard in Reisterstown. If you're coming down Reisterstown Road, you make a left on the Owings Mills Boulevard. That takes you a little around. You make another right, and that puts you right on Owings Mills Boulevard, going towards Reisterstown. And what's it, about 3 miles, you think? Maybe 2.5, 3 miles on your left?
Yeah, it is from the Beltway. It's probably 4 miles.
Okay.
You come past where the Colts used to be. The Colts complex used to be is now what is it? Villa Julie. It used to be Villa Julie College. Now it's a new college. But
right now, yep, I forget the name of it. Henderson or something like that.
Yeah, you can you come past there. You just stay on Owings Mills Boulevard, and if you get to the end of Owings Mills Boulevard, you went like 1 block too far.
Right. Very good. We're going to be there. Most of the show is from 9 until 2, and you and I will be there early. I'll start the show at 7 and go till noon. It's going to be a great show. Hope everybody gets a chance at the Vintage Italian Car Show. Ferraris, Maserati, Lamborghinis, Alfa Tomatos, Fiats, the whole bit.
Oh, yeah, and they also, we forgot to tell people, they cook breakfast, too, so that'll be nice.
Oh, yeah. And breakfast food and also lunch food. They're a very good caterer.
Yes.
Food you have to pay for. Everything else is on the house.
Yep. If it's free, it's for me. You know how they say.
All right. And you'll be giving some tech sessions, too.
Yeah, all day long we'll be doing tech sessions. I believe Eric's bringing a leather seat so we can show how to clean that. I have a hood over there. We can have people practice burning through the paint on, and we can. And Rod's going to do some other stuff that he always does very well.
You'll be able to throw some dirt and manure on the Viper and try to clean it up for me.
Yep, just like they do on TV.
There you go. All right, looking forward to that.
Yes,
all right.
sir. I am too.
Let's talk, Mr. Dave Winward. You got a contest for us this evening, Mr. Winward?
Sure do.
Okay, what you got, buddy?
Let's see here. Talking about turbos. This is a turbo question.
Okay.
Oops. Give me a second here. Here we go.
Well, that's okay. Turbos have a normal lag. That's all right.
Yeah, that was turbo lag. So, if that's showing up on the screen, what is Jasper's #1 selling turbo? Is it the 3126 Caterpillar, the 6.0 Ford Power Stroke, or the DT466 International?
All right. The correct answer, and by the way, you only get one shot at this, folks, but the correct answer will win a Jasper Engines t-shirt, and all you have to do is be the first answer at jasperman73@gmail.com. Last time to win for the summer, and then we start the show off again in September. The first Tuesday in September, we'll be back on the air. But again, which is the best-selling Jasper remanufactured turbo? 3126 Caterpillar, 6-liter Ford Power Stroke, or the DT466 International Turbo? Correct?
Yes, and last week that was the answer was the 1930 Cadillac was the first engine to use a hydraulic lifter.
Okay.
And our friend Ken from Baltimore got that correct.
Okay.
He's got another T-shirt coming.
Yeah, he's got the full Jasper wardrobe right now.
Yeah, there's nothing left. Hopefully we'll have some more stuff by September.
That sounds good. That sounds like a good song by September. Oh, never mind. Dave, thank you very much for being with us, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, and appreciate you being with us for the whole time too. As far as for the shows that we do every single week, appreciate that. Jose Bueso, good to have you, buddy. It's been great to have you join us this whole time, and we're looking forward to a summer off. We're looking forward to September already and doing this up again.
That sounds good to me, Dave. It's always a pleasure being here, and I look forward to September and doing the show with you guys again.
Tell Todd we said hi. We missed Todd the last couple of weeks, but he's given up on us. He's already home.
Yes, he went home. You know, he got back from Auto Mechanica,
right?
And that guy is still bushed.
Yeah,
of course, my partners gave him a run for the money.
Did he have a good time?
Yes, he had a great time.
Good.
Yeah, but they ran hard. Chicago looks like a lovely place, and they got to see some neat things out there.
Well, you know, I guess the time of the year they went to is a little better time. I don't think I'd want to be there December, January, February.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
In fact, so I can tell you right now, I know I wouldn't want to be there December, January, or February.
He actually told me that a lot of Chicago is underground. The roads, the walkways, the subways, of course, and all of that. But he said it was very interesting. He had never really been in a city, a big city, quite like Chicago. So he found it very interesting.
Very good. Very good. Well, thank you, Jose, for being with us. By the way, we've been doing this for 2 years now, and it's great to have you guys. I want to thank you so much for joining us in. It really is hard to believe. But go back on the web, and you go under YouAutoKnowLive.com, and you can go back here all the way to I think it was April of 2013 we started this. So fantastic. Appreciate it, guys.
That's a nice long run.
Yeah. And we're not stopping. We're just taking a pause. So I want to appreciate you guys very much for joining us, and hope it's been beneficial to you. I want to remind everybody that Dynamic Automotive is offering a 10% off their parts and labor tickets. All you have to do is mention my name, Dave Serio, or my radio show, You Ought to Know, and go to either one of their 3 locations. If you mention my name or my radio show, You Ought to Know, they'll give you 10% off parts and labor on any service ticket. So that's a great deal because they already have great pricing in the first place, and this puts you down into a better category.
That sounds really good. We are really getting a lot of people mentioning your show now and your name. So yeah, it's working out perfectly for us.
Fantastic. Now I want to tell you one thing. Now we're not going to have the show during the summer, which means we're not going to be able to use this as a platform to be able to promote your car show. But what we need you to do is the 3 weeks before your car show, we need you to join us on the radio show. Call in. I'll give you a special number to call in for the Frederick number and also for the CBM number. And we want to get some people from the Baltimore area to join you on the car show too. So the 3 weeks before the car show, we need you to join me on the radio show and do a good plug for that, okay?
That sounds like a great idea, Dave. I'd love to do that.
Okay. Sounds good. Then it's a date. All right. Thank you, Jose.
Thank you, Dave. See you guys in September.
All right. Mike Lambert from The Shine Shop, 410-833-1632, and theshineshop.autodetailing.com. Thanks for being with us, Mike.
My pleasure, Dave. I've always enjoyed it.
Thank you, sir. Dave Winward from Jasper Engines, jasperengines.com. Appreciate you being with us this evening, sir.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, Jose Bueso from Dynamic Automotive. The website is dynamicautomotive.net, and you can visit that to get all the information you need on all 3 locations. Jose, thanks again for being here.
Thank you. Always a pleasure, Dave.
Thank you, buddy. I'm Dave Serio. The show is called You Ought to Know. It's Saturdays, 7 a.m. to 12 noon Eastern Time on the web at daveserio.com. 3 stations in the Maryland area. We thank you very much for listening to us here on You Ought to Know Live. We'll be a little hiatus on the Hangout10.com network and join you again on the first Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. in September. Have yourself a great night. Thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to talking to you again very soon. Bye-bye now.